All right, we're gonna take our post where it's tapered, where we cut that little corner off. You want that part to face the inside, okay? So, take your post, make sure everything's folded over good. You're gonna take the post with the angled part facing inward, push it down into the ear and twist back and forth. I can feel now where you follow this curve down and where the very bottom touches the head. That's how far down the post is. So I'm gonna lift the ear up and onto the ear post. And once I've got that, I'm not gonna let go of this hold. Take your first piece of tape, start it on the post at a slight angle, going up towards where the ear connects to the skull. Go up and around the back and back on to the start. Overlap your tape halfway, again, go up, around, back down. Overlap halfway, up, around, back down. Overlap halfway, up, around, back down. Scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. Now that I've gotten almost all the way up and there's only a little bit of ear out, I can let go of the top because that ear is not going to sag down. Allowing that ear to sag down is what can cause a divot here, and that's what causes pockets. All right, so I always cut 2 of the longest pieces. I said there's 4 long pieces. That's because I do 2 pieces down here at this base. So now that he's taped up most of the way, we're gonna come back here and I'm gonna post another one. You can go the same way or the opposite way. I'm gonna go the opposite way just for whatever, just because. So I'm gonna start there, go around the ear, and then come back down where we started. Now this tape is a little bit too long and is gonna get on his fur, which is not a big deal, but it gives it a good spot where it can start to come loose. So I'm just gonna cut that there. So I just took a tiny little bit off, and now I'm gonna make sure I push all the edges down really good. Now we have to post that last bit, the very tip up there, which is arguably the piece of tape I think you got to be the most careful with, because if you post too tight on this tip, you can lose circulation. Blitz, stay, stand, come forward, sit, good, stay. I need you to stay in frame, sir. All right, so we're going to again start our tape on the post and go around. Okay. Now, when I get right here to this edge, I'm going to lightly set that down and then use my thumbnail to run up and down the side of it and then finish that tape around. I'll show you why. If I left that open, right, if I just laid it on there, like, stop. Like how these are. I'm gonna show you. If I squeeze this tighter, you see how that tape tightens up right there? I make sure I do the tightening on my own. So then here, stay. You see how I can pinch that? And it's not too tight. That is really important. Are you drooling because you want cookies? Gross. Gross, dude. All right, so we're gonna do this last piece of tape and I'll show you that again, but I gotta set you down really quick. All right, so I have our shortest piece of tape. I'm going around. Here's our very tip, okay? I'm setting it on there. And then I'm going to tighten that little edge down and then just press that down. Now he's got, you know, room to breathe there on that tip. Because I cut the post longer, his ear stops well before the end of it. So I'm gonna cut the excess off. All right, whenever you wanna cut excess post off, the most important thing is that you take your finger and you cover the entire tip of this ear. Every single bit of it. Then you can cut that off. That way, if anything happens, if the dog moves, if your hand moves, you're gonna cut yourself, not them. All right, we always wanna make sure we're protecting that ear. Now you can see his ear can move up. If he relaxes, he can let it down. He can pull it up tighter. All right, so that one's done. We're gonna do the other one. All right, again, post, tapered edge, faces inwards towards the skull. We're gonna take the ear, take our post, put it down, twist, 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 twist. You're not gonna hurt them. Where I follow this curve all the way down where it touches the head at the very base, that's where the post is, so we're deep enough. Lift, put the ear up on the post, and then pinch between two fingers, don't let go. Keep that tension. First piece of tape. Start on the post. Up, around the ear. I folded my tape on itself, so I'm just gonna grab another piece. That's another good reason to have extra pieces of tape. All right, start on the post. Up around where the ear attaches to that skull and back down on itself. That piece was a little too short, so I'm doing a second one right over it now. And I won't have to come back and do another one later, so that's no problem. Again, half overlap, up, around, back down. Half overlap, up, around, back down. Half overlap, up, around, back down. Now that I'm mostly covered, I can let go of that. I forgot to do it in my other video and I almost forgot again. There is a natural fold on the dog's ear. If you look at it, right here where it connects to their head, there's a piece of skin that folds back. By starting our tape here and going up and around and then coming back down, you don't have to do anything with that fold. Just laying the tape around it and coming back will just naturally fold it, and it'll just go, stay, all the way up the ear. You can actually see right here where that fold is just naturally folding backwards, and it'll stop whenever it's ready. All right. Half overlap, up, around, back down. That one kind of angled back up, no big deal. That's actually a little looser than I'd like, so I'm just going to pull it back off and then pinch it here, around and down. There we go. Stay. Good, lay down. Blitz has decided he wants to lay down, which is no problem with me. So again, half overlap, come around this ear. When I get to the back side, over here, run my thumb up the back and then press it the rest of the way down. Now it can't over tighten, and you can see that I can pinch it a little bit. It's not squishing that tip. So that's how we know we're not too tight. All right, one more piece for the tip. Half overlap, up, around, leave a slight pocket there, then push your nail down it and around. Now I'm going to scrunch it. I can still pinch that and feel that tip. Actually, I can't feel it as much as I would like because this part over tightened. So we're just gonna pull that loose a little bit. I need an extra hand, hold on. All right, I just took that little fold out, so now he's got plenty of room for it to squish. It's not too tight. So I'm gonna cover this with my finger to cut this excess off. So I've fully covered the entire tip of the ear widthwise. All right, now that we have both ears posted, it's time to do our bridge. I like to hold it like this with two tails off the side. You want to get this bridge as low to the skull as possible. So you're going to hold the ears just slightly out. You don't want them straight up and down. You want them slightly out so that they can work the muscles. I like to press both sides so it stays stuck really well. And then I'm going to come in and line this tape up in the middle. And then when I pinch that together, it's going to pull that ear in slightly. That's why you put it just a tiny bit wider than you want it to be. Okay, again, I'm going to come around here, meet that tape in the middle, and then pinch it together. All right, there's our bridge. Very close to the base of the head. It's sitting slightly behind it, but that's okay because when he lifts his ears and puts it together, it'll come right over there. So now we're gonna take our little short, thick pieces of tape and we're going to just wrap them around this part. Let me set you back up on the tripod. Okay. I'm just gonna start as close to that post as I can get. Fold the tape over it, back under, and just roll it around several times. That's why you want to use the full width of the post, so you can use as little as, you know, as few pieces as possible. Okay. Last piece in the very middle. Alright, and it's just been wrapped around several times and then I pinch it all together. So, by going around this as close to this as we can, it prevents that tape from opening up and it encases that full edge to keep any sticky pieces from pulling at their fur. So, there we have it. Full set of posted ears. Let me zoom back out. Blitz. Looks a little funny on a big male. He's very much not enthused. He does not think this is amusing at all. We're paying him for his time. Good boy. All right, I took a little bit of makeup and just rubbed it on here to give you an idea of what post will look like after 2 days or so, 3 days, whatever. You will normally, they get a little dirty, and you'll have a little line right here where the natural fold of that ear is, where it is like a clean spot, okay? And that's where I like to trim my post off because you normally have a gap between the, you know, tape and where it touches the ear. That's where these blunt scissors come into play. So these are brand new, so we're not gonna have as much room as we normally do. So, you know, I know what I'm doing, so it's not a huge deal, but you will have more room, so don't be nervous. So I'm gonna go right up on the inside of the ear and trim, right? So I know I'm facing away. I see the ear right here. I'm going right away behind that. And if you're nervous, you can lift that up and you can kind of cheat. And you can see right where that ear is. And just go right up. And I actually slipped through here and got into the post, which is not a big deal. I'm just gonna go under there and pull that apart or cut it. I'm just kind of going right. You can kind of see the ear right through the tape too. I'm just staying right between that. Okay, so trim the bridge. Okay, so can you lift your head up? Thank you. We're gonna just take the tape, peel it around the ear, and you see how easy that's coming off even though it's brand new tape. And then I'm gonna take the ear on the tip and lightly pull it away, okay? Lift your head up, stop. And then we're gonna just wiggle it and pull it out of the base, okay? Blitz. Good boy. All right, again, stay. We're gonna go. You can see that, oh, I almost had it. There, you see that little line right there? You'll have a clean area there. So you'll just follow that up. Keep your scissors very flat to the post like this, faced away from the ear. And just follow that line up. Take your time, no rush. All right, see how I've removed all of that? Stay. Peel this around and away. Pull the ear off. Got a little bit of tape still on the back. Pull it the rest of the way. And off and out we go. All right, so I'm going to show you how to get your tape off your post to reuse it. So this is where I've taken the tape off around the ear. So we're going to go to the top, not the bottom where we wrapped around it. You're going to slide your scissors right between the post and the tape and just slide your scissors down. So then you're going to unwrap it and you'll see right here, as long as you take your time pulling that off, you can reuse the post. If you get impatient and just rip it, sometimes it will tear a chunk out. If it's not a big chunk, you can still reuse them. So then I just throw that away. Brand new, perfect post, ready to reuse. All right, little girl's had her ears posted for 2 days, and I just want to show you what they will look like. So see how they're a little dirty? But you see that clean line? Stay. That clean line that runs right up here, that's where you trim, okay? So these are what they look like after a couple days. No big deal. She'll probably get changed tomorrow. She's had them done long enough that we can do 3 days. She's got her little bridge. Let me get her a cookie. See how she's got slack in the... What is that? You can see that slack where she's using those ear muscles. Easy, sharp teeth.